This week, two horror movies released in theaters. First was Together and the other was Weapons. I didn't get to see Together because it didn't release in my city, but I got to watch Weapons, and here are my honest and unfiltered thoughts about this movie. First of all, let's talk about the hype of the movie. There were a ton of people that were hyping up this movie. There were a ton of people who were talking good about this movie, and I was like, okay, we need to watch this. And frankly, I was not aware of this movie. I'll be honest here. I was not aware of Zach Cregger and Weapons. And if you don't know, Zach Cregger, this is his second movie, and the first movie of his that he made was The Barbarian, which I did not watch for the life of me. I don't know why I didn't watch it, but I just didn't watch. And I'm definitely going to watch it now because Zach Cregger is just one of those directors that I'm going to be very excited to see whatever he does. That brings us to Weapons. So the premise of the movie is very interesting. It is told that the movie is based on real life events, but I am sure it is not entirely true. But anyways, just think about this. At 2:17 at night, at 2:17 in the morning, 17 children belonging to a same class just go out of their house, they just run away in a very funny fashion, and they just vanish. They just vanish. And there's only one kid left, and the whole blame is put on their teacher, their class teacher. I mean, that is a very, very interesting premise. And I'm telling you, I didn't see the trailer before watching the movie. I just knew what the plot is going to be. But I thought this is going to be more about the investigation of how they were not able to find those children. But instead of that, they showed us, yeah, what was behind it, but they didn't show us the investigation altogether. They showed us different perspectives, and that is what I really loved about the screenplay. At first, we start with the story of the teacher. We follow her, we spend a lot of time with her, and we get to know that she's an alcoholic, she drinks a lot, therefore she might be having some visions, and her character is quite tainted because she doesn't have that great relationship with children. I mean, all those things are lurking about her, and therefore you kind of feel that, okay, I see what you're doing here. You are framing this character, you are telling us all the bad things about her, and just when we are engrossed in the story, damn, we see a different story. We see a story from someone else's perspective, and this is what the whole jigsaw puzzle kind of thing comes into play. We are eventually following a story. We are eventually getting to a story, but bit by bit, piece by piece, we are kind of solving this puzzle of how it all happened, and we are solving this puzzle from different perspectives. And of course, my favorite one was Josh Brolin's. Josh Brolin's character was all adamant on just bringing his Matthew, bringing his kid home. So he kind of uses all these, you know, first of all, he just has this weird dream, weird sick dream. Then he kind of tries to connect the dots of where the children go and why they were running like this, like they are free or something like that, or they're just aimed at like an aeroplane, they're just aimed at something like a fighter jet, they're aimed at something. So that was all going on. And just when we are getting very interested on what Josh Brolin's character is doing, bam, there's a twist again. There's a twist again. And this time the twist was quite big. This time we get the twist of Benedict Wong's character. But then we are connected to a different story. We don't follow the story of Benedict Wong's character right away. We follow the story of a different character. I think after that we go to the police officer or the drug addict. I think the police officer we goes to first. Then we go to the drug addict. And then finally we get back to our Benedict Wong's character. And wow, it was very, very well structured, and I really loved that storytelling. And then I got to know that Barbarian also follows the same structure. So again, I'm very excited of watching this. So this kind of that chapter wise, but we are solving this mystery, this puzzle, and we have this all jigsaw pieces lying around, which are the stories from different perspectives. It's not the first time that this happened, but the way that they have used it here, Zach Cregger has used it here, is very, very applaudable. Now, there's this thing about this movie. By the way, this is going to be a spoiler review. A little, not big spoilers, but a little bit of spoilers. I mean, if you have seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or if you haven't seen the movie, you won't know what I'm talking about. So, to the ones who have seen the story, tell me in the comments, what do you think about this ending? Now, for me, the way that they led us through the story, and the way that children were running, I kind of made sense, or I kind of somewhere knew that where they were heading, that what is controlling all these kids and what's happening. I was kind of aware. Now, therefore, I was not quite shocked when we get the big reveal of what's happening here. We get to know about Aunt Gladys and what she was doing and why she was doing. We get to know that. But amidst all this, there's the story of this kid that was. I was very fond of that kid. And the story of the kid Alex starts when, I mean, the perspective of Alex starts with the reveal itself. And we as an audience now at that point know that, okay, this is what is causing everything. And basically, that's the whole movie. Basically, that is the movie solved. The movie is about solving where the kids went and who took them. And that's it. We have solved it. But after that, the movie spends a considerable amount of time on showing what Alex's journey has been. And I kid you not, I was very emotional there. I was like, first of all, performance great. Second of all, whatever that kid was doing to keep everyone alive, I mean, come on, that was some good acting and that was some very good storytelling there as well. We have this aunt making Alex do everything for the survival of his loved ones. That was pretty good to see. That was pretty dark and pretty good to see. I mean, I was really in love with that portion of the movie as well. So we get that, and then at the end, of course, we have that big whatever that that moment that we have. It was funny as well. I laughed a few times. People around me were giggling as well. But there was one guy after, I mean, I'm just segueing into a different thing here. There was one guy, I mean, there were a few students, a few college students, they were in their college uniforms and they came in. There were girls, there were guys, and I knew they were part of a big group, like five, six people. A couple of them were girls and three, four were boys. One, just after the credits roll, one kid stands up and he looks like this and said, I mean, he said in Hindi, I'll translate it anyways. He said, there was nothing in this movie. Literally, there was nothing in this movie. And I was like, I was sure that that kid was just there standing and just trying to impress the other girls that he knows something about it. And he said, nothing happened in the movie, nothing in the movie. I'm like, come on, man, come on, sit down, sit down. What the hell you're doing? And come on. And there were a lot. Anyways, I'm not gonna blabber about that. But yeah, I loved the movie. Although I will say that even though I knew kind of, I mean, it's not a big mystery. As you watch the movie, you kind of figure out where the story is going and what may have caused the disappearance of those kids. You kind of get the idea by it. But then when the big reveal happens, I was not shocked because I kind of sensed it. But it was not like I was disappointed. I mean, yeah, the movie didn't lie anywhere. The movie was always hinting to something like this, that this may happen, that this might happen. And there were a lot of clues. I mean, there is a huge foreshadowing. Huge foreshadowing. If you have seen the movie, I think you'll get it. I just don't want to reveal it, but I think you'll get it. There was a huge foreshadowing at what could have caused all of this. Anyways, let's talk about the imagery now. Fantastic. I mean, it really reminded me of Long Legs. The imagery again in that movie, that was so it was so beautifully shot. That atmospheric horror was created, and I think a lot of people will be reminded of Long Legs after watching this movie. So the camera work, the atmospheric horror that Zach Cregger was able to create, and in horror movies we get that jump scare, but there is always that music that leads you to the jump scare, and the jump scare is not a jump scare then because you know what's coming, but you don't get it here. You absolutely don't get it. This is not a horror movie. This is not a movie filled of ghosts, but it is a horror mystery movie. Therefore, you have that mysterious, airy feeling of everything, and as we are following the perspective or the life of a certain character, then how that all connects to a different character story, and then we have that visceral imagery of the horror or that jump scare kind of a thing. That is what elevates some of the points. And the movie tries to go a little bit in the gore side of things as well. I really love that too. At some places, I mean, I love to watch that, but I'm like, if that's doing something to their face, I want to watch it, but I watch it like this, and just making all these faces, and just making these weird sounds. But I love to watch it. That is what we get in this movie as well. Overall, this was a very decent experience of watching it. Although I can understand and perhaps I could agree with a few people as well that what they felt about the ending. A lot of people loved it, but overall they loved the movie until that ending. Anyways, that's all my thoughts about the movie Weapons. By the way, I just need a small favor. I On this channel, I have three channels. One is Peaky Movie Insights. This one, the other is Peaky Movie Insights Hindi. That is for all the Indian movies because the movies are in Hindi. Therefore, my content is on Hindi. I talk in Hindi on that channel, and on this channel, I talk in English. Of course, I started this channel with movie reviews. Then Stranger Things happened. Marvel Cinematic Universe happened. So now frankly, the reviews for the reviews are abysmal. And therefore, I started a new channel because I love to talk about movies. Started a new channel, but then no, not a lot of views there as well. So I'm just confused of where to put this review kind of videos because on this channel, on Peaky Movie Insights, I want to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I want to talk about movie breakdowns. I want to talk about Stranger Things, predominantly Stranger Things. I want to talk about, but then also we have such kind of movies where which are meant, which are begging to be talked about. They are. I mean, I've missed a lot of movies. I've watched all of them like the whole summer. F1, I've watched it. I don't think I've covered F1 here, but I've watched F1, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. I've watched all of the summer movies. 28 weeks, 28 years later, I've watched all of them, but I just didn't cover them on this channel. So that is the conundrum that I'm facing right now. So please just share your thoughts about this. But I'm anyways going to put out this video on my main channel, Peaky Movie Insights. I hope you like it. I really hope you like it. But don't worry, the Stranger Things content is going to come out here because I am a fan of Stranger Things. But I also want to talk about movies, so I am going to talk about movies here as well. Anyways, please, your suggestions are will mean the world to me, and I'm really huge conundrum. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.